Our planet Earth has some of the most breathtaking landscapes, a world of staggering beauty and endless variety. From the highest peaks to the deepest oceans, its wonders never cease to astonish us. We are, by our very nature, explorers, driven by an insatiable curiosity to witness these marvels firsthand, to feel the spray of a distant waterfall or the warmth of an alien sun on our skin. This innate desire pushes us to the very edges of the map, seeking out the new and the extraordinary. But this world, so generous in its beauty, also holds places of profound danger. There are corners of our planet where the forces of nature are so extreme, so unforgiving, that they defy human presence. These are not destinations for the intrepid traveler. They are realms where survival is measured in minutes, not days. They serve as a stark and powerful reminder of nature's untamable power, a power that commands respect and, in some cases, a very wide berth. Today we journey to these forbidden frontiers, not in person, but through the safety of our screens. We will explore the desolate, the toxic, and the utterly lethal. Here are the 15 most dangerous places on Earth, locations so perilous that no human should ever dare to visit. Join me as we look into the abyss and contemplate the fine line that separates breathtaking beauty from mortal peril. Off the coast of Brazil, shrouded in mist and legend, lies an island known as Ilha da Queimada Grande. To the untrained eye, it appears to be a verdant tropical paradise, lush with vegetation and untouched by human development. It is a tantalizing glimpse of a world without us. However, this idyllic facade conceals a reality of unparalleled danger, for this small patch of land is home to one of the densest populations of venomous snakes anywhere on Earth. It is, quite simply, Snake Island. The island's undisputed ruler is the golden lancehead pit viper, Bothrops insularis, a species found nowhere else. Evolution, in its infinite and sometimes terrifying creativity, has made this snake uniquely lethal. Isolated from mainland predators, its venom has become astonishingly potent, 5 times stronger than its mainland relatives. It's a neurotoxin so powerful it can melt human flesh and cause death in under an hour. The Brazilian government, recognizing the extreme danger, has made it illegal for anyone to land here without an explicit permit, which is granted almost exclusively to scientific researchers. Imagine stepping ashore, knowing that for every square meter there could be 1 or even 5 of these deadly predators lurking in the undergrowth or coiled in the canopy above. The air itself seems thick with unseen menace. The few who have ventured here speak of a constant unnerving rustle in the leaves, a perpetual sense of being watched by countless unblinking eyes. This is not a place for exploration. It is a living laboratory of evolution's deadliest creations, a place where humanity is not just an intruder, but prey. In the heart of Sumatra, Indonesia, stands Mount Sinabung, a colossal stratovolcano that for centuries lay dormant, a sleeping giant in a landscape of serene beauty. For generations, local communities farmed its fertile slopes, living in the shadow of a peak they believed to be benign. But in 2010, after 400 years of silence, the giant awoke. It began a new era of violent, unpredictable, and devastating activity, reminding all who lived nearby of the raw, untamable power simmering just beneath the Earth's crust. Since its reawakening, Sinabung has been in a near-constant state of eruption. It spews vast columns of ash miles into the atmosphere, creating an eerie, perpetual twilight for the surrounding villages. Far more dangerous, however, are the pyroclastic flows. These are superheated avalanches of gas, ash, and rock, moving at hurricane speeds and incinerating everything in their path. Entire villages have been buried, landscapes have been irrevocably scarred, and thousands have been forced to flee their ancestral homes, becoming permanent refugees. The Indonesian authorities have established a large exclusion zone around the volcano's summit, a no-go area where the risk of a sudden, deadly eruption is simply too high. Yet the allure of the volcano and the fertility of its soil creates a constant tension. For climbers and tourists, it is strictly off-limits, a beautiful but deadly spectacle best observed from a great distance. Mount Sinabung is a living, breathing testament to the fact that the ground beneath our feet is not as solid or as stable as we might like to believe. There is a stretch of the North Atlantic Ocean loosely bounded by Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico that has captured the human imagination like few other places on Earth. It is not marked on any official map, yet it is known the world over as the Bermuda Triangle. For decades, it has been the subject of countless books, documentaries, and whispered tales, all centered around one chilling theme: mysterious and inexplicable disappearances. It is a place where the rules of our world seem to bend, and sometimes to break entirely. The legends are numerous and unsettling. Flight 19, a squadron of 5 US Navy torpedo bombers, vanished without a trace during a training exercise in 1945. The rescue planes sent to find them also disappeared. The USS Cyclops, a massive naval cargo ship, was lost in this region in 1918, with over 300 crew members aboard, leaving behind no wreckage, no distress call, no clue as to its fate. Ships and aircraft, large and small, have reportedly vanished in good weather, their last communications giving no hint of trouble. Naturally, such mysteries have given rise to a host of extraordinary theories. Some speak of rogue waves of immense size, or sudden violent methane gas eruptions from the seabed that could swallow a ship whole. Others venture into the realm of science fiction and the supernatural portals to other dimensions, alien abductions or unknown magnetic anomalies that scramble instruments and confound pilots. While scientists offer more rational explanations, the allure of the unknown persists, making the Bermuda Triangle a place of enduring and perhaps eternal mystery. In the stark, arid landscape of northern Tanzania lies a body of water so alien it seems to belong on another planet. This is Lake Natron. Its surface often shimmers with a haunting, blood-red hue, a result of the salt-loving microorganisms that thrive in its unique chemistry. This strange beauty, however, masks a deadly secret. The lake is one of the most caustic bodies of water in the world, a hyper-alkaline trap for any creature not adapted to its extreme conditions. The water of Lake Natron is saturated with sodium carbonate and other minerals that flow in from the surrounding hills and the nearby Oldoinho Lengai volcano. Its pH can reach levels as high as 10.5, almost as alkaline as ammonia. For most animals, contact with this water is fatal. Birds that crash into its deceptively placid surface are subjected to a bizarre and macabre form of preservation. The high concentration of sodium carbonate acts like a natural embalming fluid, calcifying their bodies. The result is a shoreline littered with stone-like statues of birds and bats, preserved in the exact poses they held at the moment of their death. It is a haunting, natural museum of the unfortunate. Photographers who have documented this phenomenon describe a silent, ghostly menagerie along the water's edge. Only a few species, like the lesser flamingo, have adapted to breed on the lake's salt islands, away from predators. For all others, Lake Natron is a beautiful but lethal end. Within the vast expanse of the Mojave Desert in California lies a place whose name is not hyperbole, but a stark warning: Death Valley. It is a land of superlatives, a place of extreme and relentless hostility to life. It holds the record for the highest air temperature ever reliably recorded on Earth, a staggering 56.7 degrees Celsius, or 134 degrees Fahrenheit. This is not a dry, pleasant heat. It is an oppressive, suffocating blanket that drains the body of moisture with terrifying speed. The valley floor sits nearly 300 feet below sea level, a basin surrounded by high, steep mountain ranges. This unique geography traps the hot air, allowing it to be heated further by the relentless sun, and the heat radiating from the parched earth and rocks. The sun beats down with an intensity that can cause second-degree burns on exposed skin. Water is almost non-existent, and any that appears quickly evaporates, leaving behind vast, shimmering salt flats that stretch to the horizon, creating mirages that have tormented thirsty travelers for centuries. To be stranded here is a death sentence. The human body simply cannot cope with such conditions for long. Dehydration and heat stroke can set in with alarming rapidity. Even with supplies, a vehicle breakdown can quickly escalate into a life-or-death situation. It is a landscape stripped bare, revealing the raw geological bones of the planet. Death Valley is a powerful, humbling reminder that even on our own continent, there are places where nature's power is absolute and human frailty is laid bare. If there is a place on Earth that resembles the popular conception of hell, it is surely the Danakil Depression, a vast desert stretching across parts of Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Djibouti. It is one of the lowest, driest, and hottest places on the planet. Here, the Earth's crust is thin, stretched and torn by the separation of three tectonic plates. This geological turmoil creates a landscape that is both breathtakingly bizarre and profoundly inhospitable, a true hell on Earth. Temperatures in the Danakil regularly soar above 50 degrees Celsius or 122 degrees Fahrenheit, but it is the ground itself that seethes with activity. The desert is pocked with active volcanoes, bubbling lava lakes, and vast fields of hydrothermal vents. These vents spew out a cocktail of toxic gases, primarily sulfur and chlorine, which stain the ground in vibrant psychedelic shades of yellow, green, and orange. The air is thick with the acrid smell of sulfur, and the ground can be treacherously thin over boiling water. This is a world born of fire and brimstone. The few people who live here, the Afar people, have adapted over millennia to this brutal environment, harvesting salt from the vast plains in a tradition that has changed little over centuries. For any outsider, however, this land is an immediate and constant threat. The combination of extreme heat, toxic air, and volatile geology makes the Danakil Desert one of the most extreme and dangerous environments our planet has to offer. Tucked away on the remote Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia's Far East, near the famous Valley of Geysers, lies a place with a far more sinister reputation. It's known locally as Dolina Smrti, the Valley of Death. This small, seemingly innocuous valley, just 2 kilometers long, has become infamous as an animal graveyard. For reasons that remained a mystery for years, any animal that wanders into this basin seems to perish quickly and inexplicably, leaving behind a chilling tableau of death. Hunters and local rangers first documented the phenomenon, reporting finds of dozens of dead animals, from large bears and wolves to smaller foxes and birds, all clustered at the valley's base. There were no visible signs of struggle, no wounds, no evidence of predation. The animals simply appeared to have laid down and died. Early theories ranged from local legends to unknown diseases. But the truth, when discovered by scientists, was just as unsettling. The valley is a natural death trap. The valley acts as a basin for a deadly cocktail of volcanic gases, primarily hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide, which seep from fissures in the ground. These gases are heavier than air, and on calm, windless days they accumulate in the low-lying area, creating an invisible, odorless, and lethal pool of poison. Animals wandering in to forage or seek shelter are quickly overcome, suffocating without even realizing the danger. It is a silent, efficient killer, a stark reminder that some of the greatest dangers in nature are the ones we cannot see. Spanning from the glacial peaks of the Andes down into the tropical rainforests of the Amazon basin, Madidi National Park in Bolivia is one of the most biodiverse places on the planet. It's a stunning mosaic of ecosystems, a vibrant, sprawling wilderness that teems with life in every conceivable form. This incredible richness, however, comes with a hidden price. Within this lush paradise lurks a staggering array of dangers, making it a place where every step must be taken with extreme caution. The park is home to some of the most aggressive and venomous creatures in South America. Jaguars and pumas, the apex predators of the forest, stalk the undergrowth. Countless species of snakes, including the notoriously deadly fer-de-lance, lie in wait. But the danger is not just from large animals. The forest floor is crawling with venomous spiders, scorpions, and giant centipedes. Even the insects pose a threat with parasitic species that can cause debilitating diseases. And the danger is not limited to the fauna. The flora of Madidi is equally treacherous. Many of the plants are toxic if touched or ingested. One innocuous-looking plant, known locally as the mimi, can cause severe rashes, itching, and dizziness with the slightest contact. Fungi release toxic spores, and even a small cut or scratch can become dangerously infected in the humid, bacteria-rich environment. To enter Madidi without an experienced local guide is to court disaster. For in this beautiful but deadly garden, everything is fighting for survival. Deep beneath the Chihuahuan Desert in Mexico lies a geological wonder that defies belief. A subterranean cavern that seems like a fantasy landscape brought to life. This is the Cave of Crystals, or Cueva de los Cristales, connected to the Nika mine. The chamber is filled with colossal gypsum crystals, some of the largest ever found on Earth. These translucent, milky white beams, some reaching over 11 meters in length and weighing up to 55 tons, crisscross the cave in a breathtaking, chaotic display. This crystalline palace, however, is as deadly as it is beautiful. The cave is situated above a magma chamber, which keeps the environment at a constant, torturous temperature of around 58 degrees Celsius, or 136 degrees Fahrenheit. But it is the humidity, hovering between 90 and 99%, that makes it truly lethal. In these conditions, the human body cannot cool itself by sweating. The air is already saturated with moisture. Breathing this superheated, humid air will cause fluid to condense inside the lungs, leading to drowning from the inside out. Explorers and scientists can only enter this incredible space for a few minutes at a time, even when equipped with specially designed cooling suits and breathing apparatus. Without this protection, a person would likely lose consciousness in under 10 minutes and perish shortly after. The Cave of Crystals is a tantalizing paradox, a place of immense otherworldly beauty that is almost entirely inaccessible to the very beings who would appreciate it most. It is a treasure chest that nature has locked with a key of unbearable heat. On the island of Java, Indonesia, the Kawah Ijen volcano presents a spectacle of haunting, otherworldly beauty. By day, its crater holds a 1-kilometer-wide turquoise lake, the largest highly acidic crater lake in the world. Its placid, colorful surface belies its true nature. It is essentially a vast cauldron of sulfuric acid, but it is at night that Ijen reveals its most famous and surreal phenomenon, the ethereal blue fire. This is not lava, but sulfuric gases escaping from cracks in the volcano at high pressure and temperature. When they ignite upon contact with air, they burn with an electric blue flame, creating rivers of blue light that flow down the mountain's flanks. It is a breathtaking sight, a natural light show of immense beauty. However, this beauty is born from extreme toxicity. The air is thick with choking sulfur dioxide gas, a poison that stings the eyes and sears the lungs. Incredibly, this deadly environment is a workplace. Local miners descend into the crater every day, with little more than a wet cloth over their mouths for protection. They chip away at the solidified sulfur, which condenses around the vents, and carry heavy baskets, often weighing up to 90 kilograms, back up the steep, treacherous path. They endure these hellish conditions for a meager wage, their lives shortened by constant exposure to the toxic fumes. Kawah Ijen is a stark and tragic intersection of natural wonder and human desperation. Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth, represents, for many, the ultimate human challenge, a symbol of conquest and endurance. Reaching its summit is a life's ambition for climbers around the world, but the upper reaches of this magnificent mountain hold a region so hostile to life that it has earned a chillingly accurate name, the Death Zone. This is the area above 8,000 meters, or 26,000 feet, where the rules of survival as we know them cease to apply. At this altitude, the air pressure is so low that the atmosphere contains only about a third of the oxygen found at sea level. For the human body, this is a catastrophic deficit. Without supplementary oxygen, consciousness is lost within minutes. Even with bottled oxygen, the body is in a constant state of deterioration. Digestion stops, judgment becomes impaired, and the risk of frostbite, hypothermia, and high-altitude cerebral or pulmonary edema becomes acute. The body is quite literally dying. The landscape itself is a vertical sheet of ice and rock, battered by hurricane-force winds and subject to sudden, violent storms. Temperatures can plummet to -60 degrees Celsius. The path to the summit is littered with the bodies of climbers who have perished frozen in time, serving as grim markers for those who follow. The Death Zone is the ultimate test of human limits, a place where the ambition to stand on top of the world is a gamble played against the absolute certainty of death. On March 11, 2011, a massive earthquake and subsequent tsunami struck the coast of Japan, leading to a catastrophic failure at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. It was one of the worst nuclear disasters in history, releasing vast amounts of radioactive material into the surrounding environment. In the aftermath, the Japanese government established a large exclusion zone, evacuating over 150,000 residents and sealing off an entire region from the outside world. Today, this zone remains a silent, eerie testament to the disaster. Towns and cities stand empty, frozen in the moment of their abandonment. Cars sit in driveways, overgrown with weeds. Bicycles lie where they were dropped. Schoolrooms contain books still open on desks. It is a modern-day Pompeii, but the destructive force here is not ash, but an invisible, insidious poison radiation. Levels of radioactive cesium and other dangerous isotopes remain dangerously high in many areas, particularly in the forests and hills. Nature is slowly reclaiming these empty spaces. Wild boars roam the deserted streets, and vegetation cracks through the asphalt. But this is not a healthy ecosystem. The radiation has been absorbed into the soil, the plants, and the animals, working its way up the food chain. For humans, long-term exposure would be extremely hazardous, significantly increasing the risk of cancer and other illnesses. The Fukushima exclusion zone is a haunting reminder of the long and devastating legacy of nuclear power when things go catastrophically wrong. The name Chernobyl has become synonymous with nuclear catastrophe. The 1986 disaster at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine was a pivotal event of the 20th century, spewing a plume of radioactive fallout across Europe and rendering a vast area of land uninhabitable for thousands of years. The nearby city of Pripyat, built to house the plant's workers and their families, was evacuated in a matter of hours and remains a ghost city, a chilling monument to the accident. The 30-kilometer exclusion zone surrounding the plant is one of the most radioactively contaminated places on Earth. While radiation levels have decreased in some areas, allowing for short, controlled tours, many hotspots remain lethally dangerous. The infamous Red Forest, where pine trees turned a ginger-brown color and died after absorbing massive doses of radiation, is still highly contaminated. The soil, water, and everything within the zone are imbued with an invisible threat that will persist for generations. Despite the danger, or perhaps because of it, the zone has become a unique and unintentional wildlife sanctuary. With humans gone, populations of wolves, wild boar, and even the rare Przewalski's horse have thrived. It is a paradoxical wilderness, teeming with life yet saturated with poison. Visiting Chernobyl is a deeply sobering experience. a journey into a landscape defined by human failure and a powerful, enduring warning about the terrifying permanence of nuclear contamination. In the Bay of Bengal lies a small forested island that is, for all intents and purposes, a world apart from our own. This is North Sentinel Island, home to the Sentinelese, one of the last uncontacted peoples on Earth. For an estimated 60,000 years they have lived in complete isolation, resisting all attempts at contact from the outside world. This is not a place of natural danger in the conventional sense. The island itself is a tropical paradise. The danger comes from its people and our potential danger to them. The Sentinelese have made their intentions unequivocally clear. Any attempt to approach the island, whether by boat or by helicopter, is met with a volley of arrows and spears. They are fiercely protective of their home and their way of life, and view all outsiders as a threat. Numerous encounters over the years have ended in violence and death for those who dared to get too close. They are not being pointlessly hostile. They are defending themselves against a world they do not know and do not wish to know. The Indian government, recognizing the tribe's right to self-determination and the immense danger of contact, has declared it illegal to go within 5 nautical miles of the island. The danger is twofold. Not only are outsiders at risk from the Sentinelese, but the Sentinelese are at extreme risk from us. They have no immunity to common diseases like the flu or measles, and contact could trigger an epidemic that would wipe them out. North Sentinel Island is a precious, fragile bubble of human history that must be left completely and utterly alone. In the middle of the vast Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, there is a site so fiery and apocalyptic that it has earned the nickname the Door to Hell. This is the Darvaza gas crater, a cavernous hole in the earth, 70 meters wide and 30 meters deep, from which flames have been erupting continuously for decades. It is a man-made disaster turned into a permanent blazing spectacle, a wound in the planet's skin that refuses to heal. The story begins in 1971 when Soviet geologists, believing they had found a substantial oil field, began drilling. The ground beneath their rig, however, was a massive pocket of natural gas, which promptly collapsed, swallowing their equipment and creating the crater. Fearing the release of poisonous methane gas into the nearby area, the geologists made a fateful decision. They decided to light it on fire, expecting it to burn out in a few weeks. More than 50 years later, it is still burning. The heat radiating from the crater is immense, and the roar of the flames is constant. At night, its glow can be seen from miles away, a lone point of fire in the dark, empty desert. It is a colossal waste of natural gas and a constant source of pollution, but it has also become an unlikely and surreal tourist attraction. The Door to Hell is a powerful symbol of a miscalculation with seemingly permanent consequences, a fiery, mesmerizing, and hazardous gateway into the Earth's flammable heart. Our journey to the planet's most dangerous places comes to an end. We have witnessed landscapes of terrifying power and sublime, deadly beauty, from islands ruled by serpents to craters of eternal fire. These locations challenge our perception of the world and our place within it. They are potent reminders that for all our technology and ambition, we are still subject to the immense and unforgiving forces of nature. They teach us a valuable lesson in humility. Before you plan your next adventure, remember that some places are best admired from afar. Their existence enriches our world, adding to its mystery and its wonder, but they are not meant for our footsteps. The true spirit of exploration is not just about going, but also about knowing when not to go. It is about respecting boundaries, both for our own safety and for the preservation of these unique, fragile, and often hostile environments. There is still so much of our incredible world to see, so many wonders that do welcome us. We will continue to explore them together, seeking out the beautiful, the astonishing, and the inspiring. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world's forbidden zones. Be sure to subscribe to Bucket List with notifications on for more amazing content as we continue to uncover the marvels of our planet. Until next time, Stay curious and stay safe.